All right.
Hello.
So the next presentation is by Gerald de Jong. He's actually the father of Mitchell, and yeah, I know him a long time. He's been an early visitor from our meetup. I think he dropped by in 2014 when we just started. So I'm really happy that he's here and I'm doing a talk. So please fire away.
All right. Thank you very much. Welcome. I guess I'm the last speaker, so I'm between you and the beer. Oh, there's one more. Okay. Yeah. Well, as you can see here, I'm one of these people who started programming a long time ago, and I've been doing it ever since, and I still love it. And the reason that I keep my interest alive in programming is because I kind of every once in a while I follow some sort of idea that I've got and I take it to as far as it will go. So I just work out the idea until I've nailed it. And it doesn't happen that often, but I just take a break and I work something through. So you know, every once in a while get an idea. So recently I had this idea. It's like somewhere around September or so I started working on it. And so I started asking myself, so first of all, you've got, you know, license plates. It's a way to identify cars, right? So every car has a license plate and you get one for free. But still, people go to the length of ordering interesting license plates. So, you know, people take these vanity plates, and these are some specially chosen ones, of course. But you get the idea. There's an interest in making it sort of, you know, a code that would normally just be a boring code to make it a little more interesting. So this is the thing that I started thinking about, and I got myself thinking about crypto tokens. What do they look like? And what could they look like? So that brought me into the rabbit hole. And I've been there for quite a while working out the details of this, and I wrote some software to try out this idea. So I'd like to show you tonight. It's a work in progress. I'm not nearly finished with it, and I'm really looking for ideas and collaborations. So if anybody is sort of struck by the idea, or if you have somebody you know who might be interested in pursuing this further, be sure to contact me. So let me just take you into my rabbit hole. Thank you for coming along. So a token. If you we have this idea of an ERC20 token, which people tend to know about, and it's just an amount of money that can be divided up and moved around. It's just like money. And then a little later on, this new phenomenon appeared, the crypto kitties, where you have actual collectibles. So that's a token that you can actually own. And it's not divisible. You can't chop it into pieces. You just own it. You can sell it. And there's crypto kitties. There's rumors of some other kinds of crypto things around, which I've heard about here. Crypto pepes. But so these tokens, what do they look like? So I thought about what is a token? A token is 256 bits, 256 yeses or nos. And so I thought, well, what do I want that to look like? If I wanted to look like something interesting, what would it look like? So I started dividing it up into these pieces. So I'm going to focus on this right now. The other two, we can talk about that later, but I'm going to leave that for now. Like I said, it's a work in progress. But I wanted to look at what can you do with this. So I thought, hey, a normal token, which is essentially random bits, not very interesting, it would look like that. But what else could we do? We can sort of draw little pictures. It looks kind of interesting. So this is like an analogy to the vanity plates on a car. And I thought, yeah, this might be fun. So I started playing around with the idea, and I was thinking of, you know, what can I do with these? Would people buy and sell these or something? Well, whatever, worthwhile looking into further. And then I came across the idea of maybe overlapping them. So then I made a Crypto010 version. And this is essentially a number of tokens that are overlapping each other to make a bigger image. So you can extend this further. This can be a very large image made of many different little spots that are either on or off. Little crazy, I told you, but whatever. So what is this? These are all tokens that are overlapping each other. To take a look at it from another point of view, you can see still the logo in the background. But these are the tokens that people have purchased, quote unquote. So the idea here is that by having people buy a bunch of these tokens, you can create an area that says something. And what I like to do, I like to think of this as a place. It's a location. You can go there. You could actually go here and you could buy this one. And you could be there. It'd be a place for you to exist or for you to put something. Yeah, locations. It's like you're defining a surface of something. Crazy idea. So if you want to create a new token, for example, you just say, I'd like that one. As a result, most of the pixels or whatever of your token are fixed because you've chosen one in an existing area. But there are a few new tokens that appear, or a few new pixels that are now free to be defined. So you could set some of these on or off and make your decisions and eventually buy that token. And then your token becomes part of this sort of island of tokens. So it's a new place. A place to go, a place to put stuff. I don't know. Like I said, it's a work in progress. Give me a break. So yeah, if you purchase this one, define a couple of these pixels, and then you purchase this token, then you are located here. You own this. Nobody can take it away from you. These things are owned. These collectible tokens. So you own that token. You are here, and you can always visit this. And these are your neighbors. Interesting. So I just as an experiment, just clicked on a few of these, defined them, and then when you bought it, then you've added something to the island that is represented here. And as you can imagine, if people get their hands on this online, this is potentially going to grow. People have a tendency to get creative. When you provide something like this online, people will figure something out and make something up and continue it further. So I thought about, okay, what does this mean? Well, a token is kind of a place. So you claim a place by buying one of these tokens. Of course, they're completely unique, so nobody else can buy that token. In fact, nobody else can buy a token that looks like that with exactly the same things on or off. So you know, it's your unique place that you own. Might be interesting. You have 6 neighbors potentially, because every one of these hexagons has 6 neighbors around it. And we can sort of build islands with each other and create places. So if you look at this, like I was saying here as well, it's kind of urban in the sense that it's fairly tightly packed. In fact, this is a structure that is, by definition, tightly packed. You can't fit any more in this location. So I'm kind of calling this a sort of a location. It's a place. And it's kind of urban because there's a lot of things around you. And if these things will tend to grow, then there's going to be a lot of people or crypto kitties or crypto pepes, or I don't know what people are going to place there. That's what I'm talking to you. I want to get some feedback, maybe get some connections. Maybe you know somebody who could take this idea further with me. But it's like creating a little piece of the city, of a city, a new city. And the fact that you own this position means that you, the place is defined by the landmarks that you can see. And the landmarks are the pixels that are turned on or turned off. So if you imagine, like if you look at this one, there's a lot of people buying tokens in the neighborhood here, so it's very densely packed. Everybody owns these overlapping tokens of each other, so they're actually neighbors of each other. And you could say that these tokens are owned by a lot more people than the ones at the side. So there's a lot more overlapping tokens in the middle than there are at the side. So what I created another little rendering of this where you can see how many owners there are by the color. So you can see that in the middle there's a lot of owners of this area here, and there's less owners at the side. Now, if you start to buy tokens here, if people start buying tokens, then this will expand further, and this is sort of an expanding terrain. Interesting. Ultimately, what I want to do with this is I want to put it in a place online so that anybody can come visit. And what's the shape of that place? Well, I want it to be like a planet. Because on each one of these areas here, you can place these islands, and there could be many of these islands, and they could all gather together, and eventually we have one worldwide planet where you can visit the places that you own. Kind of a crazy idea, but in a way it's decentralized location. Locations are defined strictly. You know exactly where you are. Nobody else can occupy that location. It's yours. But the only way it's defined is by the landmarks around you. There's no such thing as... oh, I lost a slide here, I think. I lost a slide. Oh yeah, no, there it is. There's no such thing as Greenwich, which is the zero mark in time, right? The Greenwich Mean Time. There's no such thing as Mecca. There's no central location of any kind. There's no such thing as the North Pole. So we're talking about location, but there's no reference frame. So, you know, it seems strange, but it may not have seemed strange to Einstein, because he knows all about relativity, so everything's relative. There's no reference frame necessarily. There is on the Earth, but that's just coincidence. So if we create a place like this, where you own your spot somewhere on this planet, and you can go visit it, and maybe you can meet the people around you who own the places nearby, or you can do a flyover and see the crypto kitties or the crypto pepes that are located there. I mean, it's a way to put all of these crypto tokens into a location. And this location is, interestingly, it's not, you know, there's no reference frame, there's no coordinates. It's just that you buy a location on an existing island, or you can create a new island and get other people to join you on that island. And eventually maybe islands could meet, join up, fuse together, and form bigger islands. So, like I said, crazy idea, but terribly fun. And I think at some point there's going to be a really interesting application for this. But I need your feedback to find out what to do with this. So if anybody knows anything, or if you wake up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat and you think, now I know what he should do with that, please contact me. There's my contact information. I have the software written. I have it on my laptop, so if we have a beer later on, I can demo if somebody wants to see it live. And so ultimately it could be a way of intentionally choosing the bits of your collectible token, whereas normally nobody cares what the bits are. They're just random, sort of, from if you just look at them. So that's the idea. Thank you very much. Any questions? Any questions for starters? Yeah.
So if you got a place that's overlapping, like you got more people owning the same spot, like in the middle, the wet parts.
Yeah.
So who gets to decide if the pixel goes on or off, or is it fixed?
Yeah, the way the decisions are made, the terrain is defined by people who buy new tokens. So it's illustrated sort of here. If these are the existing ones that people have bought, the green ones are potential. You could buy them. You can't buy these yet because you need to have a bridge to them. You can only buy ones that are next to ones that exist. And the reason for that is you've committed then to a whole bunch of terrain. You've decided that you are here, and all these bits have to be exactly correct for you to have that place. But if you go to the side here and claim a new one, then most of the pixels are already predefined. There's nothing you can do. But there are a few new ones, and you get to set those. So when you set them, you buy that token and it's fixed forever. So it allows people to create the country or create the island as they go.
Clear, thank you.
Any more questions?
Have you ever heard of Reddit Place?
Reddit
Place?
Yeah, where they made an image.
1,000 by 1,000
many
canvas.
people. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you can look at the gamification they did there.
Yeah,
and
I've
apply
seen
some
that,
of the
and that
rules.
was sort of vaguely an inspiration for this. But there's a difference here because this is ownership. This is actually purchasing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what I wanted to do, or I'm still not sure what to do with this, but I'm thinking if I put this online and people can actually buy these tokens, they don't have to be terribly expensive, but you know, people might buy thousands and thousands of these things, so it might deliver some money. What I wanted to do was sort of tie it to a charity, so that every time somebody comes here and they want to add some new terrain, they would buy tokens, but everything they spent would be spent on something good, something useful.
Good idea.
Yeah. Thank you.
Just a short question to close off. I was wondering, is the current code already online? Is it open source?
Yes.
Cool. I'll take a look at it.
Okay, I'll show you later too.
So did you say the map can grow?
Sorry?
Did you say the map can basically expand?
Yeah.
But you also turned it into a globe at some point. So
Yeah.
then how would you grow it once it's a globe?
Good question. Well, it doesn't have to be closed. You could, let me just skip on here. I'm not sure yet. But in theory, you know, you could put islands on here and let them float around. They could float near each other. They could keep a distance from each other. Anything is possible. If they fuse together, they could form a bigger island that eventually covers the whole planet and maybe fixes it at a certain size. But until then, it can grow and grow and grow until it grows together. I'm not sure how this is going to work yet.
I like it. and also like a couple of years ago there was actually a project which was basically a large image and you could buy a pixel
Right.
within that image. So maybe you could look at that too.
Yeah.
Just a suggestion. Yeah.
It also reminded me a little bit about Second Life,
Yeah.
where you, if there would be a token economy in there, then you could actually buy things
Yeah.
and own them.
The thing is here, you can buy a location and then it's yours and nobody can take it away from you. And if, for example, the Crypto010 or something, you know, you could theoretically say this is a nice little image. You know, you scan around, you find this one, you think I've been to Crypto010, so you just buy one nearby, and maybe that connects you with the other people in the neighborhood. Maybe you can see what they say. Maybe what could appear on each one of these, like if you own one of these, it's sort of up to our imagination what it actually represents. You could say, okay, this is a world where you put CryptoKitties. Okay, done. So everybody can put their CryptoKitty at different places, and then it's a place you could fly over and you could see all the CryptoKitties. You could also say people are located at these different points. And then you could visit this from time to time and see what they have said recently or what they have tweeted or something. I don't know, it's an open...
Did you see the movie Ready Player One?
No, but I will.
You should. It's really recommendable. So thanks a lot. I
Thank you
think
very much.
this was a great presentation.